testing is necessary? Well, software is likely to have faults. We want to learn about the reliability of the software, to fill the time between delivery of the software and the release date. So as you know, you're going to have a project plan, right? And you're going to have several mini projects within that project, right? So at some point, that application has to go live, right, to the general public. So we want to do testing before it is released to the general public. Yeah. Failure can be very expensive. As I mentioned earlier, we're talking about transfer of money, £50 turns to £500 in someone else's account. Well, if enough of those mistakes manifest, then that bank could be facing a lawsuit, and that could be very expensive, right, for that bank. And more importantly, you want to stay in business, because if all your customers run away because you have a piece of software that has a problem, then you're going to have some major issues to deal with. I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, like a long time ago, there is this area of testing called performance testing, right? Whereby you're trying to make sure that the system has sustainability. So if one user is on a website, yeah, things are, super fast, as in the responses you get. Well, as you increase the number of users, right, then that is bound to have an effect in that things will slow down and could basically, depending on the number of users, if they're high enough, then the system could basically crash. So the example I wanted to give was basically Dell computers. I mean, you know them. They assemble computers and post them to you, right? So I'm not sure about their business right now, if they actually sell Dell computers in shops. But before, I know that 100% of their business was done online. So they had built their website. They had used it for a couple of years. But the problem was they never thought that their customers would increase, right, as they did, So they planned for a certain number of users. Obviously, over the years, their clientele increased. So they were still using the same infrastructure that they were using before, right? So I think at the time when they started this, a couple of people advised them that it would be nice to do performance testing, but they refused. They said, why? It's working. Anyway, things increased, and then their website was down for about 10 days. This was a business that was basically making an average of $1 million a day, right? So the system was actually down for about 10 days. So do the maths, yeah? 10 million just went out of the window. The testing that we're meant to do was meant to cost them about $50,000. So because they refused to spend $50,000, they lost 10 million.